Widowhood is such a strange thing. And everybody experiences it differently. Everybody has their own way of dealing with this devastating loss. There's widows that I've read comments on accounts that support widows, mainly on Instagram. And they talk about things they did right after their husband has passed away. A lot of people travel around the world. Other widows start dating. Several end up getting married. Some start new careers. Some go back to school. And I feel like a small group stay the same with just the absence, but nothing in their life changes besides the major, devastating absence of their husbands. The majority that I have read comments or heard stories from go to alcohol to numb the pain, go to therapy, be put on prescription drugs to numb the pain, to numb the absence, to try to figure out how to live the life going forward that they never asked for. And none of the things are wrong. They said the only rule to grief is there's no rules. And I think that as long as we're not hurting others or ourselves, you do what you need to do, and you do it for as long as you need to do it to figure out how to live this life again. Because it's hard. One of the widows said, comparison is the thief to joy. And that is very true. And I have a really bad habit of comparing myself to what others are doing, and then thinking that the reason why I feel so stuck is because I'm not doing what they're doing. I'm not doing dramatically different things. And it makes me feel like I'm doing it wrong. And there's an expectation of me to do something, to live this new life. And I wrote something in my journal that I want to read. And maybe it will upset people. I think it's easy to misunderstand. Maybe people will actually relate with it. Or maybe people won't like it at all. But I'm going to read it because I feel like it's important for me. And just to give some contents to what I wrote, I have 3 horses. One of the horses' name is Dream. She's my first horse that I got as an adult after marrying my husband. And so when you hear the word dream, that is what it's referring to. And the reason why my husband would say it is because he knew that it would make me laugh. He knew that it would make me realize that what I was worried about wasn't that serious, and that I should focus on something else. January 21st, 2025. My problem is, I think that I must do something. There is nothing to be done. If I sit on this property and rot away my life, I'm allowed to do that. If I decide that I want to do something special for no reason but to do it, I'm allowed to do that as well. My problem is, for my entire life, I've felt the need to prove something, to show the whole world that I am worthy of existing, that I am not a waste, and I have the right to be here. I am useful. But the truth is, it doesn't matter. I make no difference to this world. The world will spin on, with or without me. Your death is teaching me this. Your words keep echoing in my mind. Your problem is you have no problems, so you have to make stuff up. Is Dream limping? How right you are. How right until now. You are gone. And that is my true problem. The only part of existing that is important is the small circle of friends and family we make along the way. I think the reason that I wrote that is to tell myself that I don't have to do a dramatic thing like all of these other people had to do for themselves. The grieving is never going to go away. So I think what has occurred to me is that the background people of my life. So if my life was a movie, and in my life I would be the main character, the world of people that I don't know on a level of personal things. Like, I don't know what their problems are. I don't know what they're going through. I don't know what makes them happy. I don't know what makes them sad. I don't know what their favorite food is. They're background people of my movie, of my story. And when I die, their lives will go on, and my death will not affect them. So it helps me stop comparing myself to these other people and what they're doing in their lives to recreate a life without their husbands. I don't need to go travel the world. There's nothing wrong with me finding simple joys on my property, watching the birds, watching the snow fall, watching the seasons change. Hopefully, I'll feel like gardening this year. Food that I cook, that I enjoy cooking, even though I desperately miss my husband not enjoying the meals. But it's okay that I don't look identical and do these grand things that other people are doing. It's okay that I'm okay with just sitting here, not needing to make these dramatic changes. That we all grieve in different ways, and the way that I'm dealing with something doesn't look like how somebody else deals with it. And it's okay. Neither person is wrong, so long as they are not hurting themselves or others. And that is what I've learned from January. We had a beautiful snow, and it snowed so much. And the snow stayed for a long time, which is unusual for us. And by a long time, I mean like a week and a half. And then we got really freezing temperatures. It's been really, really cold. My husband absolutely loved snow. He loved, and we'd get so excited when it was going to snow. And we would go to town, and we'd get all of our favorite foods to snack on. And we would get hot cocoa and marshmallows and whipped cream, and make sure we had plenty of coffee creamer and coffee. And he knew that as soon as the ground turned white, he was gonna shelter in and just enjoy the snow. But he loved to go out in it too. He would get a four-wheeler out, and he would tie a sled to the back of it, and then he would take the kids up and down the driveway with the sled behind him. And they would be screaming and hollering and crying that their hands were cold, but they wanted to keep going up and down the driveway on the four-wheeler, and they would take their turns on the sled. he would always build a snowman. My husband always built a snowman. There was one year where he built this gigantic ball that looked like it should have been the bottom of a snowman. But instead of it being the bottom of a snowman, because we didn't have enough snow to make the second and third ball, he carved out the middle of the big bottom ball and made it kind of like a really shallow bowl, and he filled it full of bird seed. And all the birds came in and were eating on it. And he put the gigantic ball right in front of the window in our house so that every time we went by the window, we could see the different birds that were eating the bird seed. That was fun. I am definitely more of the type of person that stays on the inside of a house with the thermostat set on a nice, comfortable temperature. And I was more like the one looking out the window, watching everybody play and making a really nice meal, making sure there was hot water for the cocoa and a nice hot pot of coffee. And then everybody would come in and we would eat and get nice and cozy. That's more my style of enjoying the snow. This was a beautiful snow, though. And I tried so hard to completely enjoy it. But a quote from Aunt Shirley that kept popping into my head that I feel like I can easily relate to now, even more than before, was when she said, "I can't feel exactly perfectly happy because." Now for Aunt Shirley, it was because her hair was red. And for me, it's quite obvious. But I feel like that quote is going to be a quote that will always be in my head for the rest of my life. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm thankful that you are here. Thank you for making me feel heard. And I'll talk to you again next time. Goodbye.